What's good, Chiefs Kingdom, and welcome back to the channel. As today we're going to dive into Marquez, Valdes, Scantling, and his potential in this offense in the 2022 NFL season for the Kansas City Chiefs. But before we do dive into that, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video, as I will keep you up to date on anything Kansas City Chief related that you do not want to miss out on. And without further ado, let's dive a little bit into Marquez, Valdes, Scantling. So yes, it's Saturday morning, and when I'm talking about a wide receiver, people would have thought I'd be talking about another wide receiver who happened to make a podcast on his tenure with the Kansas City Chiefs Friday night and have me recap that. I'm not going to do any of that. As much as Tyreek Hill was great with this team, it's time to move forward, and I'm done kind of focusing on the negative kind of input and not suggestions, but comments he's making about the Kansas City Chiefs and how he is going to be in the future. I wish him the best, at least, and right now it's time to see how Kansas City can move forward and replace the Tyreek Hill and become a better offense. And that's why we're going to focus a little bit on Marquez, Valdes, Scantling, because he has not headlines, but he's been making some noise in this OTA season. When he first signed with Kansas City, our highest expectation, well, at least mine was to be kind of replace the speed that Tyreek provided with this offense. Now, is he going to replace it 100%? No. But he gives you another speed asset with McCole Hardman where you can stretch the field. It's a different type of speed than what Tyreek provides to this offense, but nonetheless, it is speed, and it's what Kansas City wants to surround its offense with. So for me, I was excited about the signing. A lot of people were indifferent about the contract. It was around 3 years, $33 million. People thought it might have been too rich, but at the end of the day, it kind of trickles down to a 1-year contract, prove it, and then if Kansas City wants to go through with it, they will. I think, and one thing that has been enticing throughout this is when Mahomes brought the whole crew to Texas, that was one name you continue to hear that had a strong connection. And then now we fast forward to June, it seems like a very, very strong connection. And one thing that highlighted everything and a lot of things that got Chiefs Kingdom excited, I haven't seen the video yet. It's just been reports. I don't even know if there's a video out there. If there isn't, that is so like really, really unfortunate, because that'd be something everyone needs to see. But apparently there was this beautiful no-look pass on the other side of the field. Scantling reeled it in with one-hand catch. Like, that's something Chiefs Kingdom I know is dying to see. Hopefully there is tape. Hopefully someone got that on tape. And that just shows the rapport that Mahomes and Scantling has built together so quickly within the last 3 to 4 months. We've been hearing about it. Now it's starting to trickle in the OTAs. Mandatory minicamps is going to come up, and then you got training camp in July. That bond is just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And now my main focus point was, can Scantling be more of an actual maybe number 1 or number 2 receiver on this team rather than just a deep threat? Because that's where it gets kind of interesting and kind of exciting as well as a Chiefs fan. Because like I said, I know I'm not the only one who really focused on him being just a deep threat and that's it. But even going back to Green Bay, there was always this excitement with him where, man, he's got the athleticism, he's got the size, he's got the speed to be a legit, like, not just like threat, not speed threat, but an actual threat as a wide receiver where teams will be afraid of. Can Andy Reid actually bring that out of MVS? I think he can. Now, people are going to be like, well, if he couldn't do it with Rodgers, what makes you think he'll do it with Mahomes, even though he does compare both of their skill sets? Here's one critical asset in all of that too, and it's Andy Reid. Andy Reid knows how to bring out the best in any wide receiver, in any player on the offensive side of the ball. And if you're going to compare an Andy Reid to a LaFleur, or I think McCarthy was the one who drafted him. If you're going to compare them to an Andy Reid, I'm going to take Andy Reid's mindset, skill set, his genius on the offensive side of the ball to bring out the best in a receiver any day of the week. And I think that's what it comes down to. Yes, you can have the best quarterback, you can have the best wide receivers, but if the coach isn't putting him in position to be great, nothing's going to happen out of that. We see this time in and time out with every team. Like, for example, not Chiefs related or whatsoever, but Chicago's Bears wide receiver Darnell Mooney. Like, you hear all this hype about him, and you heard it last year too, and he didn't live up to it. And you're going to hear it again because now he's not in Matt Nagy's offense, even though Matt Nagy is our offense. So, I don't know how unfortunate you want to look at that, but Matt Nagy was good with us, so maybe just the OC, he can bring that KC magic back. But with Mooney, it's going to be, is he going to live up to it? But it's going to be questionable again, because do you have the right coach scheming in the right plays? That's the same with Justin Fields too. Will Justin Fields ever live up to his potential? Only time will tell, but coaching is a big different, I almost messed that word up, but try it again. Let's see. Differential, yeah, we'll go there. If I struggle, oh well. Part of this game, and you just can't have great players and be like, they're going to be good automatically. Coaching is huge, or anybody would be great in this league. And wish nothing but the best for Justin Fields and Darnell Mooney, but coaching is going to dictate on how their career goes. That's why KC is in a very great place right now with Andy Reid and a solid coaching staff in EB and Matt Nagy. No matter what you think about them, on the offensive side of the ball, they know how to scheme like really, really well. And one, they're focusing on their main parts. EB is focusing back on the running back room, and then you got Nagy focusing back in the quarterback position. They're strong points. So it's going to be interesting to see, but also with MVS too. It's like, if he's going to be more than just a deep threat, and maybe I'm just drinking a little too much of the Kool-Aid, but it's that time of the year where it's hot. So you got to drink that Kool-Aid. And MVS is starting to become one of my favorite receivers to follow this offseason. It's interesting to see. If I had to make a list, definitely for the KC wide receiving core, I'm not saying ones that'll have the most impact in the 2022 NFL season, but ones I'm most interested to see this training camp and then this preseason and then going into 2022. I'd probably literally have it listed as, I think everyone might have it like this, but number one, I want all eyes are on Justin Ross and if he'll make this team and what kind of impact he'll have going in 2022 moving forward. And then I think MVS actually slid into my number two. I know a lot of people will have Sky Moore there or Josh Gordon, so be it, but the way this connection and like how he's got KC media all hyped on how the bond with him and Mahomes are going, like, that's got to be something to see. And he's number two, and then I'm going to have Sky Moore and then Juju. And no discredit to Juju. I think we all know what Juju will provide with this team. I think he can go back to his great status. It wasn't elite, but also, too, he can bring back some of that rookie year and that second year magic he had with the Steelers. I think that is very plausible because I think he can easily be around a 900 to 1,000 yard receiver in this system and get around maybe 8 to 10 touchdowns. I really think Juju's going to have that type of bounce back years. But as for excitement with me in training camp, unless he starts making like crazy ass plays that go nuts, then yeah, I'll have my eyes on him right now. But I think the main two a lot of Chiefs fans are going to be excited in this wide receiver room is a Justin Ross and then an MVS. Also too, I'm interested to see McCole Hardman and how he goes too. But then again, I kind of just want to see how it works in the preseason and 2022 NFL season, because last year that was the main thing, that he was the training camp star, and he did have a good year last year, but it still didn't meet expectations like we all wanted to see. So I'm done with the high expectations. I want to see McCole just take over, and I believe he can too. It's going to be great to see because this KC offense can like dissect any part of the field. They got possession receivers, they got big physical receivers, they got speed. This receiving room, even though it doesn't have the star talent as like a Tyreek Hill, they're more deeper than ever, and I think that makes them more deadlier than ever. And oh yeah, I'm not discrediting kind of like what Tyreek Hill did in his podcast. We got Travis Kelce, who he's not just the best tight end, he's like one of the best receivers in the game, and Mahomes' favorite weapon. And I think as long as you got Kelce and then he draws matchup, one of these guys are going to make a way to find an opportunity and eat. It might just be MVS. But I'm going to wrap this video up. And KC fans, just let me know how you're feeling in the comments down below on MVS. Do you feel like he's just going to be a straight line burner and Mahomes is just going to find him deep? Or is he going to like really get it all together and be that legit receiver for this offense that kind of Tyreek Hill kind of molded? Not saying he's going to be Hill, but remember when Hill first started in this league, he was a punt returner, he was a kick returner, and he was straight speed. Then he ended up getting his route running down and his possession catches down and all that, even though he did have a lot of drops, but we're going to slight that. Can MVS actually, bring that to KC? I'm kind of leaning towards yes after hearing all these reports of him and Mahomes' connection. But you let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to close this video out. But before I do, like I mentioned, please do subscribe to this channel, as I will keep you up to date on anything Kansas City Chief related. It is the slow time of the year, but we're going to have mandatory mini camps coming around the corner, and then training camp, and then that's when NFL season is right here and ready to go. You guys do not want to miss out on it. I will keep you up to date with all of it. Thank you guys for checking in. Please give me that big thumbs up and like this video, and I am checking out. Y'all take care.